You don't forget the first time you realize the person you love is capable of lying straight to your face. It wasn't a dramatic moment. No screaming, no shattering plates, no storms of tears. Just a quiet Saturday afternoon, the hum of the dishwasher in the background, and a look in her eyes that didn't match the words coming out of her mouth. "It's not what it looks like," she said. But I was staring at the screen. It was what it looked like. I'll back up. We'd had a rough stretch, I won't lie. Between work stress, family obligations, and whatever that invisible wall was that had slowly started to rise between us, we weren't exactly in sync. I chalked it up to life. Marriage has seasons, I told myself. This was just winter. She'd been distant lately, laughing at her phone more than usual, always a little too quick to turn it face down. The usual signs, I guess, but I didn't want to be that guy, paranoid, insecure, overreacting. So I gave her space, trusted her. That's what love's supposed to mean, right? Then came the strange receipts. Twice in 1 month she'd said she was working late, but the Lyft charges didn't line up. Pickups from parts of town she never had meetings in. One even from outside a hotel. When I asked her about it, she shrugged. We had a networking dinner there. Don't be weird. I wanted to believe her. God, I did believe her. Because the alternative? It wasn't just betrayal. It was the end of the world I thought I knew. Then came the house alarm glitch. We had a home security system installed last year, mostly for peace of mind when we were traveling. It had cameras. She hated them. Said they made the place feel like a prison. I told her we could turn them off inside when we were home. She agreed. At least, she said she did. What she didn't know, what I didn't even realize until recently, was that the system had a backup storage feature. Whenever there was a connectivity issue or motion triggered unexpectedly, it saved the footage to an encrypted cloud archive, something the tech guy set up without much explanation. That Saturday, I got an alert. System maintenance required, motion backup available. We weren't even supposed to be home. I had come back early from a work trip, a day earlier than she expected. Walked in through the garage. The house smelled like vanilla candles and faint perfume. Hers, but stronger than usual. I found her in the kitchen, startled. She covered it with a smile and a kiss on the cheek. "You're early," she said, laughing nervously. "I was going to surprise you with dinner." I believed her. I really did. Until I opened the app. I don't even know what made me check it. Call it intuition. Or maybe something just didn't sit right. The footage showed a timestamp from the night before. The camera near the back door had triggered. I tapped the clip. It loaded slowly. And then I saw it. A man. Tall. In a black hoodie, slipping in through the side gate. She let him in. She kissed him. Not a peck. A kiss. The kind that belongs to a story that doesn't include me. He wrapped his arms around her waist like it was natural, like it was routine. Like this was not the first time. I stared at the screen for what felt like hours. And then I heard her behind me. "What are you watching?" My hands were cold. I didn't even remember picking up my phone. I turned it toward her. "This." Her face went still. Then came the line, rehearsed, desperate, and utterly hollow. "It's not what it looks like." I said nothing. She reached for the phone. I pulled it back. Her panic was real now. "Please, just let me explain. It's not what you think." That's when I hit rewind. Swipe back. Another clip. 2 nights ago. Same man. Different angle. The kitchen this time. Her laughter, muffled but clear. The way she moved around him. Comfortable, familiar. She tried to speak again, but I held up a finger. I didn't want to hear it. Not yet. Swipe again. Another clip. This one from last week. He left through the garage, pulling her into a hug at the door. She waited a full 2 minutes after he left, then looked up directly at the camera, just for a second, and turned off the light. So she knew. The silence between us filled the room like smoke. Thick. Suffocating. She stepped closer. Her voice cracked. "It's not serious. I swear. It was a mistake. It had happened and..." I stood up. Not in anger. Just slowly, like a man who realizes the chair he's been sitting in all his life wasn't stable after all. "I'm going for a drive," I said quietly. "Wait. Please, can we talk?" I nodded, but I was already at the door. And I didn't come back that night. I didn't sleep that night. I drove until the sun started to rise, the world slipping by in a blur of headlights and empty intersections. Every stoplight felt like a question I didn't want to answer. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just kept driving. Mostly, I remember the quiet. When you've been with someone long enough, silence starts to speak louder than anything else. And in that silence, I started to rewatch everything. Not just the footage, but the last year of my life. Her tired excuses. The way she'd started turning away from me in bed. How we barely made eye contact anymore when we passed each other in the hallway. I kept thinking about that look in her eyes when I held up the phone. It wasn't guilt. Not at first. It was fear. Not of losing me. Of being caught. That hit harder than anything else. By morning, I was parked at the marina, staring out at the gray water, the air thick with salt and cold. That's when my phone buzzed. 10 missed calls. A text. Please come home. I'm sorry. We need to talk. I didn't reply. I just scrolled. She'd sent another message. He means nothing. I was lonely. I was stupid. Please come home. I sat with those words a long time. Lonely. That word stuck. Like somehow her loneliness justified what she did. As if I hadn't felt the same ache. As if I hadn't wanted more, too, but chose to fight for us, even when it felt like she didn't see me anymore. That night, I checked into a hotel near the office. I didn't want anyone to know yet. Didn't want to answer questions I wasn't ready to ask myself. She called again. I let it ring. By day 3, she sent a video message. Her face was pale, eyes swollen. I messed up. I know I did. But I didn't stop loving you. It was just, things felt empty, and I thought if I ignored it long enough it would fix itself. I didn't mean to fall into anything. Please come back. Let's talk. There it was again, that same careful phrasing. She didn't mean to fall into it. Like it was a puddle, not a choice. The thing about betrayal is that it doesn't scream. It whispers. It plants doubts like seeds, and by the time you notice what's growing, it's already choking everything else. That week, I stopped wearing my ring. I told work I needed a few days off. Took long walks around the city with no destination. I passed coffee shops we used to go to, restaurants we'd celebrated anniversaries in. I remembered how she used to lean her head on my shoulder in the movies. How she used to call me by a nickname no one else knew. It all felt like echoes now. Familiar and distant at the same time. I finally texted her on the 5th day. We'll talk. Tomorrow. She replied instantly. Relief all over her words. When I walked into the house the next night, everything was clean. Candle burning. My favorite dinner on the stove. Like we could rewind to before the footage. Before the lie. But there was no going back. She met me at the door, tearful, mascara smudged, and wrapped her arms around me like she still had that right. I didn't hug her back. We sat in the living room. She started talking immediately. About how lost she'd felt. How she thought I didn't love her anymore. How the man meant nothing. How it never went further than a few kisses, a few nights, a few wrong turns. That's when I interrupted. How many nights? She froze. What? You said a few. Be specific. She hesitated. 4. Maybe 5. I nodded slowly. Was it always him? Her eyes flicked down. Yes. Just him. Tell me his name. She said it. It didn't ring a bell. He works in advertising, she said. We met at a conference. It was stupid. I thought it would make me feel something. I felt invisible. You were always working late, and I was working late. I cut in. So we could afford the things you said made you feel secure. You wanted the house, the trips, the new car. I gave you all of it. She looked down. I know. I'm sorry. That's not what I need to hear right now. Silence. Then, do you want me to leave? I don't know yet. And I meant it. I didn't storm out. I didn't throw accusations. I just sat there, looking at the woman I used to dream about marrying, and wondering how long she'd been a stranger to me. I slept in the guest room that night. The bed was too firm, the air too still, and in the quiet, I thought about how love dies, not with betrayal, but with the 1,000 small silences before it. The next morning, she made coffee like everything was normal. I didn't touch it. Instead, I pulled out my laptop and opened the footage again. Not because I needed more proof, but because I needed to remind myself that I wasn't crazy, that the hurt I felt was real, that the story she was telling wasn't the full truth. And then, I found something new. A clip from a different night. Another man. Not the one from before. Older. Different build. Same house. Same door. Same kiss. My chest went hollow. This wasn't one mistake. It was a pattern. I heard her call my name from the kitchen. I closed the laptop. I didn't answer. The air in the house felt different after that. Not cold exactly, just empty. Like all the warmth had quietly packed its bags and slipped out the back door sometime between her lies and my silence. We still moved around each other like actors who'd forgotten their lines. Making coffee, folding laundry, mumbling good night like it meant anything anymore. But I couldn't unsee it. That second man. Same routine. Same casual familiarity. Same doorway. And the way she kissed him, it wasn't hesitant. It wasn't guilty. It was practiced. Intentional. I didn't confront her right away. What was the point? I already knew the answer. She would cry, deny, maybe admit it after enough silence. Say it didn't mean anything. That it was during a rough time. But when there are two, you start to wonder how many you didn't catch. How many names you'll never know. How many nights she thought you were too stupid or too trusting to notice. I spent that day at a lawyer's office. Not because I was sure I wanted a divorce, but because I needed to understand what it would look like if I did. What it would cost. What I'd lose. What I might gain. The lawyer was calm, matter of fact. He handed me a brochure I never thought I'd hold. Protecting Your Future After Betrayal. Real subtle. I didn't open it. That night, she made my favorite dinner again. Chicken piccata, garlic mashed potatoes, roasted asparagus. She'd even put on the dress I used to love, deep navy, soft fabric, clung to her like she was trying to remind me of the woman I used to crave. She lit candles, played music. She was trying. And maybe a year ago, that might have been enough. She poured wine, reached for my hand. I know I broke something, she said quietly, but I'm willing to rebuild it. If you are. I looked at her, really looked at her, and I realized something. She wasn't sorry she did it. She was sorry she got caught. I saw the second guy, I said. Her face drained of color. The wine glass trembled slightly in her hand. I don't know who you. Yes, you do. Silence. And then, like clockwork, it wasn't what it looked like. I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was so predictable. Like she only knew one line, and kept trying to make it work in different scenes. I stood up, walked over to the security panel on the wall, punched in the code, pulled the backup drive. She watched me, frozen. Her voice shook. What are you doing? I'm done watching this movie, I said. I grabbed my overnight bag, already packed. The same one I'd brought in 5 days ago when I agreed to talk. She followed me to the door. Please don't leave like this. We can go to therapy. We can fix this. You don't fix something that's already ash. She grabbed my arm. Not hard, just enough to stop me. Her eyes searched mine. I still love you, she said. That one hurt. Not because I believed her, but because part of me wanted to. The part that still remembered how she used to look at me like I was her home. I gently pulled my arm away. You don't cheat on someone you love. Not like this. Not over and over. Tears fell. Her mouth opened, then closed again. There were no more words. I stepped outside. The air was crisp. Honest. I didn't slam the door. Didn't make a scene. I just walked. Down the steps. Past the roses I planted for our 5th anniversary. Past the cracked driveway she always said we'd fix next spring. I walked until I reached my car. I didn't cry. Not until I was 5 miles out, on a road I didn't recognize, where no one could see me. And then I let it happen. Not just for her. For me. For the version of myself that ignored the signs. That worked overtime to fund a life she used as a stage. That wanted so badly to believe it's not what it looks like meant something other than a hollow excuse. I pulled over. Sat there a long time. And finally, I took off my ring and set it on the dash. It caught the light. Beautiful. Heavy. A perfect circle. Just like her lies.